All right, welcome back to In the Can. We have a film in studio we're going to be talking about. It's called Putin's Kiss, and it's directed by Lise Birk Pedersen from Denmark. Welcome.
Thank you.
And a very interesting film because it does a number of different things in pure documentary fashion. It tells us about a culture and a revolution and kind of the state of being of Russia. In many of its forms, but it also tells it through the eyes of a young lady who is growing herself and growing in her own ideology. Tell us about the young lady that you focus on in the film.
Yeah. So the young lady, she's called Masha Drogova. She is, when I met her, she was 18, and she is part of Putin's youth organization. And she has grown very fast in this organization. You can, if you are loyal to Putin and to the power of Russia, and you're in this organization, you can get a lot of benefits, good education,
an apartment, education, all of those different things.
And she's come from a small town, and she just saw this as an opportunity.
And this is one of those movements coming out of the Orange Revolution. You know, the history of Russia being very fast moving back then.
Yes.
And so a lot to react to, a lot of hope, a lot of promise for the Russian people. It must have been very exciting to get involved in something that not only gave you an outlet for your ideology, but gave you a social network and the meeting new people, the kind of that aspect of it as well.
Yeah.
Must have been very entertaining to a young woman.
I think so. And I think it's like, you know, not her only hope, but that's at least how she sees it. You know, coming from a small town, don't having so much to do there, and then suddenly meeting up with Putin, getting the Medal of Honor from him, things like that. So
what happens from that point? I mean, she gets excited, and then well, history happens.
Yes, because it is like this in the youth movement that Masha is in, that you are either with or against.
Right.
Yes.
Either with me or without me.
Yes. Yeah. So they are fighting the opposition in Russia. And at one point, Masha, she starts to meet up with some of the enemies. And the enemies is both like oppositional politicians, but it's also like liberal journalists who would criticize the system. And Masha starts becoming friends with some of them. And then all her trouble starts.
Because, you know, oddly enough, we're experiencing some of that in American politics as well, where you either have to believe one thing or you have to believe the other. There's no gray area, and you're not allowed to be friends or fraternize with anybody on the other side too. And it really kind of gets in the way, really, of a community and a nation growing.
Yeah, I think it's not particularly from Russia, definitely. It's like
it's
we are
worldwide.
Also seeing it very much in Denmark and in the United States. But I think that the difference is here that you would have, you know, the state and a state organization who would initiate young people to go and hate other people, to put like people that are enemies of Russia on posters, showing them, throwing them on the ground, stomping on them. So and behind that would be like the ministry kind of education, and that's, you know, I think a whole different story.
Well, yeah, it's a story that actually takes it backward a little bit.
You could say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a filmmaker, I mean, you went in with an idea of, you know, here's a nice idea, here's a story that I can tell.
Yeah.
Did it end up being the story you thought you would tell, or did it end up being something different?
You know, when you start, you never know what will happen.
That's the beauty of documentaries, right?
Yeah. But I definitely felt that something would happen with Masha, because when I just met her, there was some incidents that gave me an idea that would be a lot of drama around her. So I kind of believed I should stick with her. And then at one point, you know, financing the film, people ask you, okay, what will happen? So at one point I wrote like a script, and it was so much fiction. You know, I just thought like, okay, if this story should be really great, what should happen to her? Then she should meet, you know, someone from the other side. Then, you know, something should happen that first would influence her, then it maybe meant life or death for some other people who she would meet. You know, putting in like what would happen in a fictional story. Right. And then when I have written the script, I say, oh, that's a great story, but
this isn't fiction.
Yeah. So, but actually, and I didn't believe actually that she would change. But then in the end, actually, that's what's the story that we ended up with. So.
Well, let's take a look at it. I know we have a clip. Let's take a look right now at Putin's Kiss. And that's a look at Putin's Kiss. You could see some of the real change in some of those characters just as that story developed a little bit. You're screening throughout the week. Do you have any more screenings?
No,
You're
the last one is going on right now. So.
Okay, all right. Well, congratulations on the film. The film is called Putin's Kiss. And that'll do it for In the Can.